We're working day in and day out trying to find that league winner that's going to get us over the hump and just nuke the rest of our league in the fantasy football playoffs, just blowing up in the box score. We might have found him today with today's news, but it also might be a trap, and that's Luther Burden, wide receiver of the Chicago Bears. Big news today. We're going to have to deep dive the good, the bad, the ugly to see whether or not you want to pick him up, start him, stash him, bench him, stay away, whatever you want to do. But before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're deep diving all the trending players in fantasy football so you know what to do with those players. We're covering their background, their situation, the advanced analytics. I'm digging up all the information. It's here for free for you to chew on, spit out, and do what you need to do for that player. Click that button. Stop missing out. We've done hundreds of these throughout the season. Ric Flair's watching. You don't want to disappoint Ric Flair. But Roma Odunze is out this week, which means there's vacated targets. And you might be thinking, he's out, DJ Moore's there, they're all going to go to DJ Moore. Not so fast, my friend. That's not how vacated targets work. They spread around the offense. They spread around to all the pass catchers, and usually everybody gets a little bit more unless someone's hitting. And if they're hitting, they'll get a little bit more of the little bit more. That being said, you're looking at Luther Burden, who has been running hot the last 3 weeks. 5, and 6 targets in those matchups, not leading to fantasy production, but leading to more work and more opportunities. Since week 10, we're running a 49% snap share or higher. Prior to that, our snap shares were like either in the 20s, the 30s, the teens. We're seeing an elevation in workload here in the back end of the season. Roma Odunze is out, and Luther Burden, the next man up. And this was a 5-star recruit out of high school. Everybody wanted him out of high school. Alabama, Georgia, all the big schools, all the small schools. This was a top prospect, a top flight wide receiver. But he goes to Mizzou, has an interesting career there because Mizzou did Mizzou. And you cannot look at the stats. You got to go watch the tape. You got to watch the practice footage from Mizzou, which we covered on the channel. Click that subscribe button so you can keep tabs on these rookies in the off season because I have that tape for you, what he was doing in practice. This is a guy that's a supreme separator with nasty hands. Broke out at age 2023, 35.5% share of the team's passing production, which is elite. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Remember, it's Mizzou. Mizzou's going to Mizzou. Anything over 20% is considered good. 26.7% last year, his final year there, just netted him only 676 yards, 6 touchdowns. He owned a large portion of the team's passing game. He was the team's offense. They're trying any way, shape, or form during his freshman year to get him the ball. Had 18 rushing attempts. You saw that instantly during his freshman season. ADOT, they did not push him downfield at all. 9.1 last year, 8.7 in 2023, 9.1 on his career. Gets a lot of work out of the slot in the short to intermediate. But you go to the film, you watch how he breaks off routes, you can use him all over the field. You can use him all over the field. But where he's being used at for the Bears, short to intermediate, over the middle, all those nuanced routes, and he falls to the second round. However, during draft season, he was declared a first-round prospect, and some had him as the top wide receiver in the class. Some had him drafted top 10, top 12, top 15. Throughout the draft process, then we get to the draft. Right before it, big media mock draft started mocking him into the second round, like something came out. During draft day, during day one on the first round, the one thing he did was after the draft, he posted of him going back to the lab, running routes, working hard. He slips to the Bears in the second round. They already drafted Colston Loveland in the first round. Colston Loveland could be getting it too. I'm not acting like I'm forgetting about him, but we're looking at wide receivers in this offense. Someone's got to get a bump up, and I want to talk about Luther Burden because a lot of people searching up Luther Burden here. But you're looking at a prospect here, good size adjusted athleticism, good prospect profile, profile all the way back to high school, been looking clean and spotless. You got Roma Odunze. You got DJ Moore. You got more wide receivers in this offense. You got Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, and you got a second-year quarterback in the offense. On top of that, Luther Burden missed a lot of time over the summer, which a lot of people don't report. He missed a lot of time during May and into June, July, and when he came back in training camp, he just starts balling out. But he missed a lot of practice time over the summer, and he's been making up for that, which is logical in season, because when else you going to do it? Because he missed so much time. He missed months being out with injury, and we were watching him, waiting for him to come back. And when he comes back, he balls out. Roma Odunze, everybody was anointing him to go off the season. Starts off kind of hot, kind of solid, and then we get the drop-off here. And one thing you'll notice with Caleb Williams, just start spraying the ball around, spray and pray, Call of Duty style. And you're seeing this offense here, it's clicking pretty good with that. Roma Odunze, though, getting a lot of deep targets, getting a lot of volume, averaging 7-some targets per game still, averaging 10.1 points per game this season, 3 wide receiver 1 weeks, 3 wide receiver 2 weeks on the season. Just a lot of down games. Just a rusted out car. The year before, as a rookie, shows a little bit of promise. Remember, Keenan Allen's there. Remember, DJ Moore was a little bit hotter. As you're seeing DJ Moore this year, not so hot. Not so hot. 5.2 targets per game. You can definitely see the veterans start to come in there where he's starting to slow down. We're starting to get some pop-off weeks, but that's against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Knowing those two defenses, they're top 5 in points allowed to wide receivers per game, PPR. So that's just part of it. That's just proxy points from that in that good matchup. But you're looking at him on the season, 10.2 PPR fantasy points per game. He's going to see some extra opportunities, but not all of it's going to go to him. He's going to get a baseline percent back to him with these targets being sprayed around the offense. You're looking at Zekis here. He's been getting some work. He's had some moments, especially weeks 8 and 9 here, where he got anointed a little bit in offense, averaging 4.5 targets per game on the high end 7 to 8 range, 6, 7, 8. But you're seeing that. He's part of the offense, getting work out of the slot, steady player, but the upside isn't unreal with them either. But Luther Burden, not super productive, averaging 3.1 targets per game. Last 3 weeks, 5, 5, and 6. That's where things are heating up. You're definitely seeing it since week 10 and the fantasy production. It's minimal, but it's not huge, but it's still there. It's still a ramp up. It is a clue to what Luther Burden could possibly be seeing on the field with Roma Odunze out. You're looking at this route participation rate. Roma Odunze was out there on 91% of the routes. 91% of the dropbacks where you got to run a route, he is out there, and now he's gone, and things got to change, and the board's got to reshuffle. He's averaging 7.5 targets per game, and that's got to spread around as well. So we should see Luther Burden's routes go up. We should see him get more work. He's getting a lot of work out of the slot. 60 routes out of the slot for Luther Burden, 133 for Roma Odunze on the season, so some of those got to go somewhere. Luther Burden's got the upside here, and they're leaning on him a little bit more. So now it's time to put their nuts on the table here and say, hey, our rookie's good. Our rookie's got a lot of upside. Let's see what we can do here. As you're looking at the targets, Roma Odunze, 90 targets on season, and that's gone for this game. Maybe even longer, a 24% target share. Not all that's going to go to DJ Moore. Like, he can only get so much more. Maybe an extra couple targets, a couple handful. It's not like all of it's going to go to him. Maybe some of it goes to Luther Burden. Maybe some of that goes to Luther Burden. I don't sound that great when I say that, huh? Maybe some of that goes to him. Maybe a lot of it. Maybe a lot of it. As we deep dive this matchup here against the Packers, the one thing you can say, the Packers are a stingy defense. We know this. Added Micah Parsons. This is a matchup that could be rough. It's also on the road, at Lambeau, at Green Bay. They're allowing 6.9% less than league average fantasy points per game, PPR, to wide receivers, 23.4% over the last 5 weeks. This is a stingy defense that can crush teams. They crushed the Browns, but who doesn't? They crushed the Cardinals. They crushed the Panthers. They crushed Minnesota. So if you get bad quarterback play against them, they're going to crush you. That's what that says. If your offense can't figure out the puzzle, they're going to crush you. And even at that, they crushed the Giants. They held Philly in check. They held Pittsburgh in check. They held Washington in check. They held Detroit in check in week 1, which is a long time ago. They're holding teams in check, and they're holding these teams down. This is a nasty defense. This is a rough matchup here. Over-under's not too high for this game. There are not many high over-unders this week to lean on, to take gambles on. You had the Thursday night game, Detroit and Dallas. You got Bills-Bengals. You got Jags-Colts, and that's it. And usually you got 2, 3, or more on a week. That's pushing 47 or more on the over-under. We do not have many games like that where you feel like you can throw in ancillary jabronis and pray to the fantasy football gods. You don't have that. So something like this is actually huge for us this week. That's one thing to take into account, which doesn't matter if he doesn't score fantasy points. But Sunday morning instead of Monday morning quarterbacking this, when it comes to versus the other players that we're going up against, we got some rough matchups. This is one of them. Now, asking Grok on Twitter, just so they can skim through all the data on the internet, on Twitter, off 63 web pages, it says down below, giving me a projection so I can give to you guys on his probability rate on where he could potentially score. A 45% bust rate below 10 PPR points. Now, let that sink in. Just let that sink into your gut right now. You also got a 55% probability of 10 plus PPR points. Now, you add all this together. That don't add up when you look at all the percentage. But also, when you think about it, it gives you the odds of if you played this game 100 times, 55 of those games would give you 10 or more points. 2 of them would give you 25 or more. 10 of them will give you 20 or more. 26 of them will give you 15 or more. So odds are probably pretty good that you're around 10. That's what that's saying. That's what I read from those numbers. You have a good probability of going off down the stretch. But you go back here, you look at these numbers, you look at the schedule. Say Roma Odunze is out for a bit. Oh, good luck. You got the Browns. We know what they're doing with the clock, too, on offense. They're just sucking it dry. They run the play down to like 1 second left every single play, and they do nothing but run the ball even when they're behind. Good luck with that. You got the Packers again. Then you got the 49ers. We just saw them against the Browns. They will suck up the clock. Give the ball to McCaffrey any way, shape, or form. That's a rough matchup. Now, going back to this probability, that's the same probability pretty much with all those matchups. Just shifted a little bit, like not too far off. So that's why I said, hey, this could be a trap. This is a gamble. You're looking at a 50-50 play. I pretty much said a lot of words to get you to a 50-50 play. He's an upside play for the flex. I think odds are strong that he gets you 10, and you do have upside that if you can hit to that, 10% chance that he can score big for you. He's got to score the touchdown. He's got to break free. We are going to get more targets. We are going to run more routes in this matchup. When it comes to you don't need him, maybe because he is a potential trap. He could be too much mind fog for you when it comes to setting lineups. If I'm good at the flex, then maybe I'm just too good to set this. Maybe I'm too good to look at this. Maybe I let somebody else pick him up. Let him mess with the Packers, Browns, Packers, 49ers matchups. Let him play around with that. However, the thing is that I want to stress is this is a former 5-star recruit that has a lot of upside, that has the upside to go nuclear and just take over. He has the upside to be a top 10 wide receiver in the league. That is what we're looking at here. It's more than just this game. This is a talented player looking to get his opportunity, who was banged up in the offseason, that had a slow burn to get to this point. Now this is his moment. Will he fire? Will he not? and AI saying he's got a 55% shot of firing to at least the fairway. And there's a chance where he fires to more, because when we're stepping on the field right now, DJ Moore is the older version of himself, and now he's going to be the most talented wide receiver on the field. And Colston Loveland's also going to be there. There should be a boost for him as well. I'm not ignoring him. We're talking about Luther Burden, guys. We're talking about Luther Burden. This is a talent that could be a top 10 wide receiver in the league. That's how talented he is. We saw this in training camp. Go back and look at the clips from training camp, because I got him here. That's why you need to click that subscribe button. So when we get the mini camp, rookie camp, OTAs, training camp, you know what your rookies are doing. You know what they looked like back then. So when you get to this point, when that rookie gets his opportunity, you know a little bit more with your eyes, not just numbers. What I'm saying, you can look at it for yourself. The ball skills, what he's doing on the field, what he's looking like against NFL DBs on his team, all that stuff. And I will be here all year long covering that stuff with you. But again, let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.